This is the OmniChannel Marketing Applications for Ministries. We're going to be getting started in just a minute. As you join the webinar, just go ahead and type your name, and you don't have to type your name, but type where you're coming from so we know where you're coming from. We see Barbara from Southern California. We see Cynthia from Orange County, and we'll get started in just a minute. All right, this is OmniChannel Marketing Applications for Ministries, and welcome to this webinar. Again, those that are joining, please make sure to put in where you're coming from, and so that we can greet you and welcome you to this special webinar presentation. So let's go ahead and get started. My name's Ron Weber. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Trinet Internet Solutions. We've been in digital marketing and ministry for over 25 years, covering digital marketing, digital fundraising, websites, webinars, and streaming media that is really designed specially for high-impact ministries. Worked with some of America's best-known ministries, including Billy Graham and Focus on the Family and World Vision. And thank you, Paul, for joining. As the new people join, just make sure to pop in the chat window where you're from. Trinet, a little bit about Trinet. We were established in 1995. Headquarters is in Orange County, California. We serve ministry clients, church clients, parachurch, nonprofit, and corporate clients. And you can see some of the clients that we work with there. Before we get to the agenda, I want to share with you a special video that was prepared by Barry McGuire, who is one of our clients, and he is just so full of verve and energy. You have to hear what he has to say about Trinet. So let's go ahead and get that video going.
Hi, I'm Barry McGuire. I'm the founder and the president of Revival Outside the Walls. Build a global brand, another life. We're visionaries, we're passionate. We've always worked with the best people we could possibly find to get us to where we want to go. We looked around, who's the best digital marketing company we could possibly work with? And wherever we went, we kept hearing this name, Trinet, Trinet, Trinet. And I have to tell you, we're having so much fun working with the people at Trinet. They have so much talent. I mean, we're outside the box all the time, but they're even ahead of us. And the magic that takes place in our meetings, it's just amazing. You know, we're now 2 years into this process, and they're no longer a vendor. I mean, they're our friends, our buddies. They're always plussing what we're saying. I love the fact that while they are big and they have these great ideas, they get it. I mean, they fall down in detail to do everything we want to do beyond what we want to do. It's great and easy to have big ideas, but they make them happen. You know, the hotspot for us, of course, is the whole digital world, all aspects of social media. Trinet's building a phone app for us that will blow you away. It is the most exciting digital phenomena I have ever seen. There's internet TV, there's all aspects of new technology coming, and well, we have great people in-house. It is the inexhaustible resources of Trinet that are going to make it possible for us to achieve our dreams. So if you have big dreams for your business, if you want to get new customers online, you want to tap into new technology, sure, you can do some of it yourself, but you can't do all of it. That's why you need Trinet.
Well, thanks to Barry McGuire for that great testimonial. We're going to start today with a couple of scripture verses, and then we'll open up in prayer. Mark 16:15 says, he said to them, go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation. And 1 Thessalonians 3:2 says, we sent Timothy, who is our brother and co-worker in God's service, in spreading the gospel of Christ, to strengthen and encourage you in your faith. So a couple of great scripture verses to meditate on. Let me open us up in prayer. Father God, we thank you, Lord, that you brought us together at this time in this place, that you provide this technology, Lord, that allows us to reach more people with your word and ultimately reach more people with salvation, Lord, save their souls. Lord, we thank you for this time. We thank you for all the people that are on this webinar right now. We pray for all of them, Lord, that you would bless them, and that this information that we're providing, Lord, would be a blessing to them and would help them in their ministries to be more effective in reaching more people for Christ. And we thank you and pray these things in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen. So, one of the things about omni-channel marketing, before we even talk about that, is the scripture tells us that we are to preach the gospel of Jesus to all the world using all available ways. And omni-channel marketing really allows us to connect and interact with people on many different ways and channels, sharing the same message for each and encouraging them to take that next step in faith, or make a donation to help the ministry encourage others to make that step of faith. Today's agenda, we're going to be covering the definition of omni-channel marketing. What is omni-channel marketing? We're going to be covering how omni-channel marketing is used and go through a few examples of that. Then we're going to talk about how to prepare for omni-channel marketing. And there's a variety of tools and steps that are wise to embark upon to do that. And then fourth, how omni-channel marketing strategies could be used for ministries. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide and welcome Becky from Oregon as well. So what is omni-channel marketing? Well, omni-channel is defined as a multi-channel marketing approach that provides the visitor with an integrated experience no matter where they come into the marketing funnel. Now, you might say, well, why is it important for them to have an integrated experience and a consistent experience? Well, it's necessary because of the number of internet channels there are, and you can see in the graphic to the right, the activity on different channels, everything from TikTok, 5,000 downloads, to Twitter, 200,000 people tweeting, to YouTube, 500 hours of content uploaded, and then just text messages, 21.1 million texts that are sent. And these statistics are what happens every 60 seconds. And the second rule is the rule of 7, which is it basically it says it takes about 7 touches to motivate a person to take an action step. So you might have someone that you encounter through YouTube or through Facebook or through LinkedIn. Each one of those is another touch point. And so it's important with people being on a variety of different platforms that you're able to touch them and ultimately get to that 7 point where they either become a friend of the ministry or perhaps they'll donate to the ministry. So let's go to the next one. So let's also take a look at omni-channel versus multi-channel marketing, because they are similar but different. Multi-channel marketing involves using multiple channels to market your product and or services, and each of those channels often operates independently. So you might have a different message perhaps on Facebook than you might have on print, that you might have on email. The idea with omni-channel is that there's a consistency and a unified message, and consistent calls to action on all of them. So let's go to the next slide. Omni-channel marketing integrates all the channels into one cohesive unit. And you can see on the left there the omni-channel wheel, where the customer is at the center of the customer experience. And we want to provide excellence there so that no matter how we interact with them, whether it's via website or in person or physically or digitally, that there's a consistency to the calls to action and there's a consistency to the message so that you get those 7 touch points. So let's take a look at some other differences, omni-channel versus multi-channel marketing. Visitors have similar experience and their information travels with them no matter where they are connected to you in OmniChannel. Marketers using, now this is a very important statistic. Marketers that are using 3 or more channels in any one campaign see a almost 300%, 287% higher purchase rate than those using a single channel campaign. And this perhaps is one of the most compelling statistics for the argument for investing in multi-channel. 3 channels properly integrated is enough to start accelerating your results. And then for every channel after 3, there's a 15% increase in return. So 3 seems to be the magic number. And then you can see in the graphic at the right there, multi-channel is a static linear strategy that begins with the brand and moves outward to channels, versus omni-channel is a dynamic, complex strategy that begins with the audience and the customer and brings and builds communications based on their engagement. So what's driving omni-channel marketing? Well, there's 4 key trends. Trend 1 is channel participants operate in a connected world. Trend 2 is cross-channel shopping and information. Trend 3 is altered browsing, shopping, advocacy norms. And trend 4 is move to services and creating customer engagement and customer values. And I'm going to pause. Barbara asked the question, what are the best 3 channels to start with if we have a limited budget? And that's a very good question, Barbara. And there isn't an easy answer to it. It really depends upon the ministry, because for some ministries, some channels are going to make more sense than others. So the best strategy is really to take a look at, is to create a digital strategy and take a look at which channels are the most effective for the advocacy and the messaging that the ministry has, and then build a strategy around those 3. And we're happy to help ministries to do that. At the end, I'm going to provide a slide with my contact information and a special offer of 30 minutes of consulting to help you get started on that. So good question, not an easy answer, and it requires some additional research and investigation to determine which are the best 3 channels to start. Next slide. So how is omni-channel marketing used? And let's take a look at a ministry example. This is a ministry called Cornerstone Fellowship, which is in the Bay Area. And they did a campaign, an omni-channel marketing campaign, to target new mover lists. And they did both plastic postcards with 2 calls to action. They had a QR code on the printed plastic postcard, and when you scan that QR code with your phone, it would take you to a website where you could actually find out more information about the service times for that particular church and contact the church. So there was a QR code, but also this is pure genius. There was a pop-out information card with service times and locations. So on the card itself, they had perforations on the bottom right-hand card piece of it, and you could tear it off, and it was a business card sized information piece that they could then put in their wallets and refer to in the future. They combined that with 2 cadence email scripts. And by cadence, we mean a structured sequence of emails that is sent to prospects on a variety of occasions in a sequence. And then they had numerous digital display ads as well that were visible on mobile tablets and desktops. The postcard brought them to one of their locations, because they are a multi-location church. So depending on where you were located, what your location was, they routed you to the closest location for their church. And then you could connect. You could set up a profile. You could do giving, view, and print. You could do group messaging, register for events, view your calendars. And it was all available on the website, the mobile site. And signups were also, call to actions to sign up were also posted on Facebook and Twitter as well. And you can see some screenshot examples of that on your right. So what were some of the results? Well, the 4-month campaign had a 4.8 times impression increase. So they got 4.8 times the number of impressions that they did when they weren't running the campaign. There were over 95,000 OmniChannel brand impressions. There was a direct increase in church attendance. And the communications director, Rachel Kleist, indicated it was the best marketing campaign they've done in 3 years. So what channels did they use? They used direct mail, postcard, social media ads on Facebook and on Twitter, and then they sent out a series of emails as well. There were 2 series of email scripts, and they actually purchased a list, some local lists of, in particular, people who had recently moved into the area. So that was one of the email lists that they used. Let's go look at another example, which is Roseland Christian Ministries. This is a campaign they did for membership and community assistance. Roseland is a comprehensive support ministry located in Chicago's Roseland neighborhood, and it provides programs that care for the needs of the community, both physical, emotional, spiritual, with a primary focus being on the people. And Roseland wanted an integrated identity that included resources, services, church service information, and everyone was welcome, and the messages come as you are. And you can see some of the examples of the pieces they put together on the right there. So the channels they used were email, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, interviews. They upgraded their website. They did branded t-shirts and bags, and they did posters. And you can see some of the posts there on the right. And together with their leadership team, they rebranded the ministry as well with a new logo, a new website, the "Come As You Are" tagline to bring it to life, and with photography, video interviews. And so what were the results? Well, the rebranding resulted in new energy and excitement within the donor community. There was a 12% increase in donations from the previous year, and the website drove inquiries that have led to grant awards and important new relationships for the ministry. Let's look at now a nonprofit example of how omni-channel marketing can be used. And this example is the New York Public Library. They did a fundraising campaign, an omni-channel fundraising campaign, which resulted in an 18% year-over-year increase in donations for the end-of-year giving campaign. They saw a 25% increase in individual donors. They also employed a Google ad grant and using that and tweaking that, they were able to improve their performance on the Google ad grant by 88%. And they did further optimizations using Google's best practices. So the channels they utilized were Google AdWords. They had Google Grant accounts. They also used Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and YouTube as well. And they optimized their keywords based on bidding, frequency, content, and targeting. You can see an example of one of the posts there on the right. Another example is the nonprofit example is the Next for Autism fundraising and awareness. And they do a regular fundraiser that since 2006, they've done a fundraiser called Night of Too Many Stars, which has raised almost 30 million. The event on November 18th, 2017 at the theater at Madison Square Gardens was presented by HBO, and the next donation site, which they built especially for that, was the nextforautism.org site. And then the hashtag Night of Too Many Stars received over 700 million social impressions. And that particular event featured Jon Stewart and friends who performed live to a sold-out show and drove viewers to channels and screens to the site to donate. So the Next for Autism, so what were some of the results? They raised over 700,000 in one night through the site. They raised 10 million total through both pre-show and post-show activisms, or activations, I should say, with email and follow-up. And then they sold out the show at Madison Square Garden Theater as well. And the impact area they had were autism, disability awareness, and they utilized a variety of different channels, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, their website, posters, TV and cable ads, and print ads and billboards as well. Another example is an advocacy example, nonprofit advocacy example, is JED Foundation, the Love is Louder, Advocating and Awareness. This was a campaign for emotional health to build a community of people working together to feel more connected and supported. And they worked with celebrities, influencers, social media personalities to increase awareness, increase engagement, and create merchandise sales, and to help to make it self-sustaining. And you can see on the right there an example of one of the celebrities that was featured in that. The JED Foundation and NBA Cares Mind Health Initiative were involved. TLC's hashtag Give a Little TLC activation was also related to address bullying and promote kindness, and you can see an example there on the left of that. And so the channels that were utilized were everything from Facebook to Twitter to Instagram to LinkedIn to YouTube, TikTok, email, and website. And you can see they created a special media room, and you can see an example of that there on the right. Next example, nonprofit example, is Perkins School for the Blind. The campaign was A Blind New World. It was for advocating and awareness. So Blind New World is, of course, a blind accessibility awareness campaign. And they acquired an army of Blind New World social influencers to wear T-shirts. Let's see, what happened to our slides there? Let's go back. To wear our T-shirts and help spread the word. And you can see an example of a post there that features one of the people wearing the special T-shirts. The campaign built a new community of 80,000 people that were passionate about building a more blind-friendly world. And you can see there is an example of someone in that campaign actually skydiving. So the channels they used were Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube, bloggers, and influencers. And you can see another example there of one of the posts. So next topic I want to address, now that we've looked at some examples, ministry examples, nonprofit examples of omni-channel marketing. So the next question is, well, how do you go about doing omni-channel? Well, the first thing you have to do is prepare for it. So how do you prepare for omni-channel marketing? We want to look at some best practices, some steps in that. We want to talk about interdepartmental coordination. We want to address some tools, look at the full marketing stack that's needed to be able to do this, and then some website enhancements from content to responsively designed web pages. So first off, an omni-channel marketing strategy requires 3 main steps. The first step is to analyze how your ministry uses different media channels. So what channels are the most commonly used? Which are the most effective? And does any channel stand out from the crowd? And you can see on the right there, omni-channel marketing means you need to look at you need to take a holistic look at the ministry and all the different channels of communication, from social media to email marketing to website, digital advertising, print ads and catalogs, public relations, influencer and affiliate marketing, and content marketing and SEO. It requires a holistic view and then a coordinated strategy for how each of these are going to be addressed. So let's go to the next slide and take a look at step 2. So in step 2, channel managers should identify areas of improvement in their practices. What has worked, what has not worked, check out the complaints, what can be done to prevent those kinds of complaints in the future and across all channels. And, you know, channel managers, by that we mean the people who are responsible for the different communication channels. Now, if you're a large ministry, you might have somebody that is responsible for doing email, somebody else is responsible for websites, somebody else is responsible for print. If you're a very small ministry, that may be one person. So by channel managers, it means take a look at each of those individually and take a look at how they can be improved and what are some areas of improvement. So the next step 3 is to develop policies and procedures to incentivize and alter channel partners' behavior to motivate their efficient execution of channel tasks. And the idea here is that often in ministries and certainly in many, many organizations, communication channels tend to be siloed, and each person sort of deals with their communication channel. And there's not often a lot of cross coordination that happens. And that really is necessary for omni-channel marketing. So in order to get the most out of, if you've got a team and different people, you have to think about how can you incentivize your team to work together and to coordinate together in order to get the best omni-channel results. So channel partners could be a third-party distributor, a third-party sales force, a fulfillment center, interdepartmental coordination. And if you're your own distributor, think about how you can incentivize your participants. Maybe it's an internal contest to see how results, how working together a team can get better results. It might be special perks or bonuses or awards for those that to get those numbers up and to work together. So best practices in interdepartmental coordination. The biggest hurdle is to get over the independent and siloed departments, and that's very common in both ministries and nonprofits and businesses, and it was one of the biggest challenges. At Pet360, which is now Chewy.com, Rose Hamilton, the executive vice president and CMO and general manager, said, what pulls us together is that everyone has a hand in the customer experience. And that's one of the keys to making this work, is to focus on the customer experience and then work from the customer backwards rather than working from internally from an organization back to the customer. It's putting the customer first. So in preparing for omni-channel marketing, there are some things that need to be done as far as the CRM is concerned. If you have a customer relationship management system where you're tracking, let's say, your donors or you're tracking your customers, there's some important things. An omni-channel marketing is going to require a good CRM to support it. So take a look at your CRM. Audit once you have worked from the customer back to the organization and have identified, okay, here's what we want to do, here's how the campaigns are going to work, and more importantly, how are we going to track it and what we need to track. Then you need to take a look at your CRM to say, okay, well, what are the requirements that we need to be able to track in the CRM? Two is define an implementation strategy. Third is to monitor progress. Fourth, maintain flexibility during the process. Number 5 is seek to automate high-cost, repetitive tasks. You want to focus on that. There's a lot of tasks that you can automate. Not all of them are worth the money to automate. Focus on the ones that are costing the most, and that are and as opposed to ones that maybe and what the frequency is as well. If that task only happens once a month versus if that task happens multiple times a day. Number 6, leverage the CRM analytics to help you make those data-driven decisions. Number 7, declutter your CRM, and that's important to make sure that we're capturing relevant data and we're capturing data that's actually allowing us to make good decisions. Number 8, invest in a scalable CRM. Number 9, customize and integrate as possible and as it makes sense. Not all integrations and not all things make sense. 10, train your staff. 11, create a data plan. 12, plan for vendor participation if needed. Number 13, monitor and control the app integration. Number 14, rally the support of the IT department. And this is very important because they're going to have a key role in the rollout of a or the update or the improvement of a CRM. And then 15, this is very important, create and appoint project ambassadors that can go out and train and encourage people to use the CRM. So let's take a look at a marketing stack that is useful for CRMs. And some of the most, here's 9 notable ministry nonprofit CRM software options. The first one, Blackbaud. Blackbaud is a fundraising, it's a cloud-based donation management platform. Many ministries and nonprofits use Blackbaud or Blackbaud products. The second is Donor Perfect. That's all a fundraising solution, also very suitable for all nonprofits. A lot of nonprofits using Donor Perfect as well. Next is Simple Church. This is appropriate more for churches because it's a church management software, and it's church management and ministry communications. It offers online giving, child check-in, communications, has a mobile app. So this may not be appropriate if you're a parachurch ministry and you don't actually have church services, but you do ministry, but you may not be a church. But if you're a church, this may be a good option to take a look at. Number 4, and the ones that I've listed so far, those are all commercial paid options. The next one, Civa CRM, this one is free. However, you have to have programming prowess in order to implement it. Civa CRM is an open source toolkit for developers to create a custom CRM on the Drupal platform. So you have to have Drupal expertise, and then you have to have programming expertise, and then you can implement Civa CRM as a module on the Drupal platform. So again, a good option. Yes, there's no cost associated with it, but you have to have the expertise or the programming expertise in-house to maintain it long term. Next is Salsa CRM. That's a cloud-based constituent relationship management platform. It tracks supporter relationships, manages online and offline fundraising, and reports on results. The next one is Keela. Keela is a SaaS, SaaS, or software as a service based, cloud-based, nonprofit-focused CRM. It provides tools for guided decision-making. And one of the things that sets it apart is they've implemented a lot of AI technology. And I talked about this in my webinar on artificial intelligence and machine learning. If you haven't seen that, go to our website and we'll have it posted there and you can watch that as well. But they use AI technology in order to make better decisions as to how to communicate with existing donors. And they help nonprofit professionals make better decisions based on data. Let's go to the next one. Additional ones are Denarius. That's a church management software solution available for on-premise deployment. Serves both churches and other nonprofit organizations. Keeps tracks of members, contributions, pledges, and more. Next is Personify Wild Apricot. This is a cloud-based membership management system used by business and trade associations, chambers of commerce, some nonprofits, charities, clubs, and community organizations. And it supports organizations from a few members to up to 15,000. Another option is Charity Engine, which is an all-in-one CRM built for nonprofits. And there's our 9 examples for CRM options to take a look at. Next, I want to take a look at marketing automation. Marketing automation, some CRM packages have marketing automation built in to some degree or other. The following packages are really marketing automation focused packages. Most of them don't have CRM functions or features, but they are really designed to help you as a marketer manage your various campaigns. So here's 7 notable marketing automation tools and platforms. The first is Active Campaign, and this is an email marketing system that is, they call it a customer experience automation. They do email marketing, marketing automation, sales automation, and they have some CRM features, but their focus more is on the marketing side. And so they can help you manage a series of campaigns that you want to carry out to various audiences. Next is HubSpot, which is an inbound marketing and sales platform that helps companies attract visitors, convert leads, and close customers. Very extensive feature set. Again, it's more on the marketing side as opposed to the CRM side. You could, it has some CRM features, but it's not a CRM at heart. It's really designed as a marketing inbound and outbound response engine to help you manage all of those touch points and communications. Number 3 is Sendinblue, which is a SaaS or software as a service solution for relationship marketing and offers a cloud-based marketing communications software suite. Let's go to the next one. Autopilot is a visual marketing software. It enables users to create marketing campaigns and manage lead conversions. Number 5 is Company Hub, which is a CRM system that offers sales teams a single and centralized platform from which to manage leads and sales pipeline activity. Again, this one is a little bit more on the CRM side as opposed to the marketing side, but I know people that use it as a marketing platform. Salesflare, intelligent CRM for small businesses selling B2B that fills out your address book and keeps track of all interactions with the people you're in contact with. Now let's take a look at 8 notable marketing analytics software options. So we started with CRM, then we talked about marketing automation. Now we're in the realm of analytics and software that helps you to track what's going on. Now, there's some of these features in CRM. Some of these features are in the marketing stack such as HubSpot and others. These are packages that are particularly good at doing analytics. And of course, top of the list, there's HubSpot Marketing Hub. So HubSpot's both inbound marketing and has great analytics tools as well. Next is MailChimp, which is started really as an email blast service, but has great reporting and tracking. And you can do all your marketing tools and data available on one platform. The next is SEMrush, which is it's a very different package. The purpose of SEMrush is to help you to do research on your online search engine optimization, which keywords work best, which keywords are people using. So this is more in the realm of analytics to help you do a better job at writing content or tracking your SEM ranking. And they have over 50 different products, tools, and add-ins. And they're a software as a service, so they're available on a website. Next is Looker, which is browser-based, has a unique modeling language that lets any employee leverage the work of data analysts. Operates 100% in database. Looker capitalizes on the newest, fastest analytic databases. Then we've got Pathmatics, which provides marketing intelligence to help answer digital advertising questions across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, display, mobile, and video. And number 6, NinjaCat is a scalable reporting and data storytelling platform designed for agencies, media companies, and multi-location brands. Then we have TapClicks, digital marketing, reporting, and analytics platform built to answer the needs of digital agencies, media companies, and enterprises. So this might be appropriate for larger ministries that might have an in-house agency that's doing a lot of the communications. Tap Analytics consolidates marketing campaign data and performance metrics into a dashboard, complete with automated reporting and analytics. Next is OXBuy, which is an all-in-one analytics service that merges data from disparate systems, evaluates the performance of advertising campaigns, and builds custom reports. And then Insider, which helps digital marketers drive growth across the funnel from acquisition to activation, retention, and revenue. So now that we've looked at those 3 categories, now let's drill down into the email service providers. So these are packages that are specifically designed to help you manage your email channel. So we've got MailChimp, Constant Contact, Blue Hornet, Benchmark, Sendinblue, Zoho Campaigns, and MailerLite. And we also have Vertical Response, Drip, and SendPulse. So those are all good choices. The next area, so we've talked about email, we've talked about marketing automation, we've talked about analytics. The next area is content management system to help you manage your website channel. And your website is a channel. And some good options there are WordPress, which is a free open source CMS designed for blogging. It's used for all sorts of websites and online stores. It's WordPress.com is a blog hosting platform, so you can actually host your website on WordPress, or you can use the WordPress software and your own host to create your own WordPress instance. It's not recommended for high-profile ministries due to its susceptibility to hacks. Second is Drupal. Drupal is a good option for developers. So if you're techie and you have the background and the experience and the knowledge to be able to do your own programming, Drupal is a great option, gives you lots of flexibility. You need PHP and MySQL skills. It's especially good if you're aiming to build a highly customized site that needs to handle a lot of data. And it's also recommended for high-profile ministries due to its resistance to hacks. Next, number 3 is Joomla, which is a popular free open source CMS platform that comes with lots of different templates and extensions. It's free to use, but you do need hosting and a domain name and some technical aptitude to implement it. Others are Wix. Wix is a beginner-friendly platform, software as a service. It's worth considering perhaps when you're first starting out. It does offer a free plan, but most people grow out of Wix pretty quickly. So keep in mind that when you do that, you really have to start again on another platform. It doesn't really allow you to easily go from a Wix to another one. You have to. There's a lot of work involved. Next is Ghost, which is a CMS platform designed for bloggers. You'll often hear it described as a headless CMS, which means that the CMS platform doesn't force content to be delivered in a specific way. Number 6, Magento, very popular with, this is a commercial software, a little pricey, but it has a lot of powerful features, particular for, it's an open source e-commerce platform. It's Adobe now owns and runs it. It bought the company that developed it. There's a free version you can download to install on your own web hosting account called Magento Open Source. Also WooCommerce for, now we're going into the realm of e-commerce platforms to choose from. So some good examples are WooCommerce, which runs as a plugin on WordPress. So you'll need to have WordPress installed first in order to install WooCommerce. And it's flexible, easy to manage. BigCommerce is another popular one. It's easy to get started if you're a beginner. You can provide hosting for your site as well as providing the actual CMS platform itself. It also handles the security and the backups for you. Shopify, very popular platform, all-in-one hosted CMS platform. You don't need to buy hosting or install any software or manage things like updates or backups because Shopify does that for you. It has a nice drag and drop interface. It supports in-store sales, which is nice if you have a physical store as well as an online one. Next is WordPress.com. You get an all-in-one CMS platform that's hosted for you. You can purchase a domain name or use a free subdomain with WordPress.com branding. And then there's Bindo POS or point of sale, which provides retail point of sale and payment solutions, analytics, and reporting. So now we've talked about e-commerce. Let's go to web and video conference solutions, because for OmniChannel, one of the channels to reach out would be live webinars or doing live presentations. Of course, you've got Zoom. The top solutions for ministries and nonprofits is Zoom. You get free 40-minute meetings. WebEx, free 50-minute meetings. Microsoft Teams gives you an hour for free. Google Meet gives you free 60-minute meetings. They have paid versions after that as well. So let's go on to, now that we've prepared for omni-channel marketing, well, there's some more preparation, and that's to make sure that your website is optimized. In order to get good ranking on Google, you have to have a website that comes up quickly and it needs to be usable. So how website speed influences the key factors of website success. First off, usability. The better and quicker your website comes up, the more satisfied the user will be. General rule of thumb is the website load speed has to be no more than 2 seconds. You want to be under 2 seconds. A great tool to use is Pingdom. You can use it, tools.pingdom.com. You type in your URL. It'll give you a ranking for how quickly your website. You can even choose different servers across the world to see how quickly your website comes up in different areas. For number 2 is SEO visibility. Website load speed is one of the key factors that Google takes into account when considering ranking sites, particularly for mobile sites. So if you can increase your site speed, that gives you more Google juice to push your website higher on the Google organic ranking. And then number 3 is conversion. The faster the page loads, the higher conversion rates it will have. So speed is very important. So what are some ways that you can optimize? Well, the first kind of low-hanging fruit way is to use a content delivery network. And basically what a content delivery network does is it caches a copy of your website on their servers, and they have servers distributed, well, depending on which content delivery network you use, all over the United States or all over the world. And so when a user accesses your website, it directs it to a copy that's on a local server that's close to you, so it loads quickly. And so an example, Cloudflare is a very popular CDN service. The fees for that can vary anywhere from $50 to $500 per month, depending on what you're caching and so on. So the easiest way to solve the problem is to use a content delivery network, but it's kind of the lazy man's version, because you've got to pay every month to keep that web content on the CDN. Ultimately, you're better off to look at some other long-term, to look at some other solutions, like looking perhaps at moving your website to a faster host. Shared hosting, virtual private service hosting, dedicated server. Trinet, we provide hosting as well. So if you've got a slow website, we can help with that, with the hosting. We can help as well with the content delivery network as well, getting that set up. The next level that you can work on is optimizing the size of images on your website. Often images and videos are going to be the biggest load factor in slowing down a page. So reducing the size of the images without compromising its quality through compression is a good way to do that. Also, reducing the number of plugins. Just keep the necessary ones and ensure they're kept up to date. To try to minimize the number of JavaScript and CSS files, try to group all JavaScript into one and do so with all CSS files. Number 6, use website caching as well. Depending on the platform your website is developed on, you may have some options in terms of the web server to cache some of your most accessed web pages. Implement gzip compression. It's an effective way to reduce the size of files. So some other good website enhancements. Database optimization. Each CMS requires its own optimization measures. This is database optimization CMSs, and also has a number of specific plugins. So take a look at how to optimize that. You might want to look at reducing the use of web fonts by using modern fonts and including only those that are used on the site. Choose only the needed styles, minimize that. Go through and do a scan for 404 errors, remove pages if heavily visited, use redirects. So other website enhancements, emphasizing more on content. Is your website mobile responsive? Is it linked to your social media platforms so that you have some cross-linking from an SEO standpoint? Is it functional in design, and does it inspire on-page conversion? And we've seen how important how important the content is to get conversions. We worked with one ministry, and by increasing the number of calls to action on each page, we were able to drastically increase the number of conversions. Number 4, by delivering high-value free content to visitors free of charge, helps to cement domain authority as experts, thought leaders, and authority that leads to more conversions long-term. So free articles, downloads, how-tos that are helpful are good for increasing that. So other enhancements, how do you write content to make sure that it is effective? Well, one, of course, understand your audience, align your content with keyword research, and that's where SEMrush can come in to help you. 3, find a unique angle. 4, write for accessibility. 5, automate tasks. 6, implement quality standards. 7, write with SEO in mind. 8, keep a content inventory. 9, write meaningful headers. 10, use subheadlines, lists, and captions, and keep them short and precise. And 11, use links effectively. Some ways that you can make your content more effective. Of course, responsively designed web page is very important to have. By a responsive website, I mean a website that displays correctly whether you're using it from a mobile device, from a tablet, or from a desktop. So is it well crafted and modern website? Is your website mobile responsive? Is it linked to your social media platforms? And is it functional in design? So next questions to ask is, how are you doing in terms of on-page conversions? Your website should be helpful in the information it provides. Give your visitors easy access to make contact with you directly. And 97% of consumers read reviews. So in some cases, if you have products or other items, implementing a review system is important. So, online reputation management is more important than ever. All right, some examples of that. NutriShop USA. They're a personalized retail nutrition company for extreme athletes. They have top quality nutritional supplements, complementary composition assessment tools, meal plans, and store owners also conduct transformation challenges and wellness programs in store, corporate, and in community. And so some online products they have are nutrition products, apparel, headwear, accessories. They have a learning center with fitness routines, nutritional recipes, and support for health information. And when a person selects a product, near the bottom of the page are images and links to complementary products. The screenshot, which you see at the right, is the suggested items when the customer clicked on the lipotropic supplement product. And there's also an invitation to stay connected. So multiple calls to action. There's a consistent message to keep in touch and to be supported. There's an invitation to join the family email and stay connected with text messaging. Another example is Starbucks. Starbucks doesn't just have an omni-channel strategy, they have an omni-channel funnel. So they focus their app, for example, on ease of use to purchase digital physical rewards, add money on the card, in-store and app charges to the card, and the more you purchase, the more rewards you get. So they focus on ease of use. They've created this mobile app for the rewards card. You can load money on it yourself. You can order ahead. It's ready when you get to the store. The app tracks your purchases and tracks your stars or points earned by your purchases, and you can redeem those stars for drinks, food, and merchandise. And so some of the dynamics of the data from the mobile app is personalized special offers based on purchases, contests and games to earn more stars. It suggests new items that you might be interested in trying, and it has incentives to reload the card, such as earning stars and free drinks. And the incentivization is a key part of their strategy. Their playbook is first to identify what the strongest customer touch point is, and then incentivize channel adoption with a clear benefit during the touch point. And so by incentivizing customer behavior, offering rewards for visiting at slower times, for example, the app can gather data on each customer's order and visit history, which can be used to shape future marketing efforts. And here's a quote from Matthew Ryan, Executive Vice President and Global Chief Strategy Officer, who says, "We have to think of it," in other words, digitally registered customers, as the top of the funnel, an enabler of the relationships that we create that lead people eventually into the Starbucks Rewards program. Another example based on location is Disney. Walt Disney World's My Disney Experience tool and mobile app and the whole Magic Band really takes omni-channel marketing to a whole nother level. Guests can use online channels, phone support, and in-park support to plan vacations. Disney's Magic Bands connect guests to their predetermined My Disney experience choices, which include fast passes, park tickets, dining reservations, room key access, and more. And it's tied to an app where, based on location, it can recommend nearby rides and alerts as to how long the lines are, recommends nearby park events, and recommends places to eat, and offers to even make reservations for you. Once the trip is over, you get personalized emails, photo memories, thank yous, and product offers that just keep coming. Robert Iger, CEO of Walt Disney Company, dubbed it the best billion-dollar investment ever. And the results were the whole system gave Disney a way of understanding the business, knowing we need more food here, how people are flowing through the park, how people are consuming the experiential product. And that's a quote from Nick Franklin, Disney's Executive Vice President of Next Generation Experience. Here's a ministry example. An omnichannel approach to church would allow people to fully connect and engage with a church without the need to step inside a physical environment every week. And the example here is the Calvary Chapel Worship Center app. They can attend one Sunday, listen to the podcast the next, watch worship via live streaming the next, and catch it on the church app the week after that. And it's available from iTunes App Store, Google Play, Amazon App Store, and the Roku Channel Store. So using the omnichannel approach could give churches the ability to reach out to others 167 hours of the week, not just during the hour of Sunday worship service. Pastor Greg Groeschel of Life Church says, if we want to reach people that no one else is reaching, we've got to do things no one else is doing. And Becky, I see your question about A/B tests in an omnichannel marketing campaign. That's a great question. Each of the channels can be A/B tested. There's various ways to A/B test each channel, from email to website to social media. Ultimately, what you want to test is the conversion, where ultimately the call to action is. And we can discuss that in more detail. And Trinet does a lot of A/B testing and strategy around testing. So we'll be happy to help you with that. Next example is evangelism, gospelbillboards.org and Christian Aid Ministries. This is a billboard sponsorship ministry where you can sponsor a billboard that is up in various places across the country, typically along interstates. They also provide answers. They have audio clips, caller questions, free books, an inspirational blog, find a church function and inspiration in your inbox, email subscription. And the idea, this is one of their over 50 worldwide support ministries. The different channels are billboards, and you can see an example there of a billboard. A donor can actually support and pay for a message on a specific billboard. There's email, there's websites, there's ambassadors. Another example is Global Media Outreach, which is a ministry of Campus Crusade for Christ. That's a digital ministry. And one of the things they do is provide digital gospel presentations, and then they track that across the world. So it gives everyone on earth multiple opportunities to know Jesus Christ, uses technology to present the gospel by reaching people at their point of need, and gives Christians an opportunity to share their faith across the world without leaving their homes, because they have a lot of trained volunteers that do the follow-up work as well on those that have indicated a decision. So globalmediaoutreach.com, your donation, every dollar you give, shares Jesus with others, the gospel. There's multiple websites, apps, online ads, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram that drive people ultimately to these call to action nexus points. And then there's contacts where online volunteers meet people at their point of need. And so the response is online missionaries answer questions. There's prayer, online Bible studies, mobile apps, and new and committed believers share their faith. And one of their flagship websites will actually give you a real-time tally as people make decisions for faith. And you can see a screenshot of that in the real-time global outreach website. Let's go next. Evangelism, godlife.org, God Loves You, which encompasses God Life TV, which is video and audio discipleship content, a new believer's guide with a series of articles on how to walk with Jesus. 30 Days Next Steps, website and app, a look to Jesus, a quick start guide for new believers, and a 5-step starter guide, how to pray. Other areas include Journey of Discovery, which is basically a frequently asked questions area, a weekly devotional with key scriptures, a free Bible app download, God Life Communities, and Chat with God Life as well, which does questions and answers through Facebook Messenger. Other channels used include the website, Facebook Messenger, Twitter, Instagram, audio, video, books and e-literature, and chatbots. Another example is Chat About Jesus, which is an initiative to engage the lost from start to end. It runs ads that link to chat pages that share the gospel: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google Ads, and connect chat participants to local churches. Okay. And I see a question. I'll get to that. I'm almost through the content, and then I'll answer your question at the end. Does God Love Me is another a great example of OmniChannel ministry. There's an online course for evangelism. There's an online social media ads funnel, landing page sign up, online course, email list follow-up, and invitation to a local church where they can finish the course. So a summary of key points. Omni-channel marketing. It's more effective than multi-channel marketing. Why? Because you can increase your conversions by 287% with 3 channels. Of course, if you do more, you can get more, but we recommend the 3 to begin with. People are expecting the same message across multiple channels, so this addresses that. And this can be used for evangelism, fundraising, increasing participation, recruiting volunteers, promoting ministry services, sharing information, and advocating causes. So steps to take. First, you have to transition from a multi-channel. Many ministries are doing multi-channel. Very few are doing omni-channel. So prepare your organization, prepare your marketing. I've given you lots of tools and tips and tricks and steps for doing that. Unify your message, incentivize the best channels to use. Implement a way to track your progress and success, analyze the data and tweak your campaigns, and rinse and repeat steps 2 to 7. And at the end here, this is a great graphic as well that we found that sort of ties together engagement channels, interaction and delivery services, content and engagement management services, enterprise foundation services. So omni-channel marketing really requires a holistic approach. So one of the questions asked was on the Cornerstone Fellowship example, what was that marketing campaign done before or after COVID? It was actually done before COVID, but they are planning to, it was so successful, they're planning to do the campaign again, I believe in September. They were going to start running the campaign again. Next question, can I start with one channel and add other channels over time? Or is it best to start with a splash on multiple channels at launch? Really, if you're not starting with, we really recommend starting with 3 channels. If you're doing 1 or 2 channels, you're really doing multi-channel marketing. You're not doing omni-channel marketing. I suppose you could coordinate between the 2, but we really see the maximum benefit with starting with 3. So we would recommend coordinating 3 channels as a start. So thanks for that question. Good question. So try, and by the way, if you need help to coordinate that, to create a strategy to help you with A/B testing, Trinet has the expertise to be able to do that. We can help your ministry navigate and take advantage of omni-channel marketing to help you reach more people for Christ, grow donations, improve ministry effectiveness. Let's go to the next slide. So we have a special offer to help you get help for your ministry. We have a 30-minute free ministry consultation as a special Trinet ministry webinar offer. You can contact me. My information is there, phone, email, and LinkedIn address. So feel free to contact me after the webinar for that. And we're going to be sending a follow-up email so that you can watch a replay of this webinar. And for those of you who are interested as well, if you want to respond to the email, we're happy to send you a copy of this presentation. We have another question from Alberto that says, given that some ministries have been deplatformed from their email providers, which email provider would you recommend? That's a great question, Alberto. None of them are actually immune from deplatforming. And we actually work with ministries to help them develop a strategy to mitigate deplatforming risk. So we can help ministries, we can help you with that. All of them have risks and issues where, from Constant Contact to Blue Hornet to MailChimp, all of them have deplatformed, SendGrid, all of them have deplatformed people at one point or another. Really, the only way that you can 100% prevent it is to set up your own email server and system. So that's an option if that is a problem. But we can definitely help you with your deplatforming strategy. So great question, Alberto. Thank you. If people have any other questions, let's see. I got some coming in on email. Let's see if I can find them here. There was one question on content delivery network. You mentioned content delivery network as an option to speed up a website. What kind of websites does that work for, and how much does it cost? Where can I get help on doing that? The kinds of websites that Content Delivery Network work best for are websites that tend to have static content. So text and images, maybe videos, that doesn't change a lot. CDNs don't work as well if you have a very database-driven website. So that's one consideration. So it works best for that. How much does it cost? I think I mentioned it's anywhere from, depending on how much content you cache, anywhere from $50 to $200 a month is pretty typical for the monthly fee for that. So that answers the CDN question. Let's see, any other questions? Let's see. I think that's it. So I appreciate, guys, that to stay around right to the end. Appreciate your questions. If you have any further questions, feel free to email me. I'd be happy to answer them. Oh, one more question. What social media channel do you recommend for advocacy and awareness campaigns? Great question. And the answer is, wait for it, it depends. It depends on the ministry. Depending on who the audience is and who you're trying to reach, there's different social media channels that will work. For some ministries, Facebook and Instagram will work well. For others, it won't. For some, it's better to use platforms like LinkedIn. For others, it might be YouTube. So there isn't a silver bullet that works in all cases. We'd be happy to consult with you, to take a look at what your ministry, what your vision and your mission and your message is, and what your audience is, and then we would be able to advise you on which channel would be best to focus on. So great question. Thanks, Cynthia. All right, we are over time. Appreciate everyone who stayed with us. Again, we'll send a follow-up email, which has a copy to replay this webinar. And in the meantime, thanks again. And also check out our other webinars on our website, including the Artificial Intelligence and Machine Language webinar we just did recently as well. So you guys have a great day. God bless. Bye for now.